The 65th Annual Order of Sport Awards presented by Everest is brought to you by these event champions. The podium of heroes is only 3 steps high, but the ascent from childhood to champion consumes a lifetime. Tonight, Canada's Sports Hall of Fame welcomes 11 of those champions, 6 extraordinary athletes from 6 unique and demanding disciplines, and 5 trailblazing pioneers whose trails never ran straight or smooth. The women and men whom we honor tonight have endured discrimination and doubt, and they have triumphed over adversities that few of us have ever had to fight. They have competed at the highest levels, a few of them gaining fame and riches, all of them earning the pride of achievement that awaits every one of us if we are brave enough to take the field. Canada's Sports Hall of Fame is proud to herald the class of 2020 and 2021, leaders and legends standing tall on the podium of life. Welcome to the 65th Annual Order of Sport Awards presented by Everest. And now to sing our national anthem, here is Jim Cuddy.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to all the recipients of the Hall of Fame Award. Hall of Fame, this being the 65th year, just slightly younger than myself, and that's an amazing achievement for all of you, and I know, having known many athletes in my time as a musician, how difficult it is to get yourself to the position you're in today. So well done, and congratulations. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Car ton bras sait porter les pays, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please welcome Vice President and COO of Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, Janice Smith.
While we are coming together to celebrate from across Canada and around the world, we'd like to acknowledge that Canada's Sports Hall of Fame is located on the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 regions in southern Alberta, which include the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda First Nation, and the Northwest Métis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your co-hosts for this evening, the host of Hockey Night in Canada and co-host of Rogers Hometown Hockey, Ron McLean, and co-host of Rogers Hometown Hockey and Juno nominee, Tara Sloan.
Merci beaucoup, Miigwech. Thank you and welcome on behalf of Tara to the 65th Annual Order of Sports Awards. We're coming to you from the Sportnet Broadcasting Studios in downtown Toronto. And Tara, it's really exciting to connect this way all across the nation and around the world.
And my turn en français. Bonsoir à tous et à toutes et bienvenue à la 66e remise annuelle des prix de l'Ordre du sport qui vous parvient des studios de diffusion de Sportsnet situés au centre-ville de Toronto. Nous sommes ravis de pouvoir célébrer avec les gens de partout au pays et dans le monde.
Très bien. You know, each October, the awards are held to signify and to honor the fact that you have received induction into Canada Sports Hall of Fame. If you receive one of these awards, you're in the hall. And Tara, we've had the pleasure of doing this a number of times, and it's great to do it again and to do it especially with you.
And this is how it works, and thank you. I feel the same way. Individuals inducted annually into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame receive the Order of Sport Award in recognition for their continuing role in building Canada through sport, and also for the value and impact they return to our communities. From great in sport to doing good for Canada, making each a role model, an ambassador, a leader, and an educator. It is said, Ron, that good things come to those who wait. Tonight, you will not only be rewarded with good things, but with great things.
And to hear Jim Cuddy talk about the journey, and to hear Martine Geyer on the opening and the resilience, the path that many of these inductees have gone, I thought about the books that have been written. Steve Nash, of course, Sheldon Kennedy, Willie O'Ree, they're all the focus of books. And in their books, they talk about things, and this is something that's near and dear to you, things that we used to sweep under the rug, whether it was self-doubt or injustice or trauma. And for me, the first glimpse, Tara, was Ken Dryden's book, The Game. He talked a lot about self-sovereignty, the language issue. He talked about his own doubts as a professional elite athlete. And I got a little worried about how great the book is and how much I respect Ken Dryden when I was watching the Tokyo Olympic Games. And the reason is, after his career, he went over to the UK to study, and he got involved in soccer. He loved watching soccer, Cambridge United, and there was a crowd favorite, number 7, who everybody said was just unlucky. He'd always miss the net, or the goalie would stop number 7, but they loved him. He tried so hard. So he ends his book, the seminal book, The Game, with late in the game, Cambridge is down a goal. Another long pass put number 7 into the clear. The crowd roared. For 40 yards, it roared. My friend next to me, bouncing up and down, said, "Here it comes, here it comes." He shouted. I smiled. Number 7 missed the net. And I was really worried about this book when I was watching Tokyo and a chance to win.
Julia Grosso from Vancouver to win it for Canada! Canada came! Canada conquered! Canada gold at Tokyo 2020!
Julia Grosso should never have doubted you. It just goes to show that great endings are for books, and they're also for the Olympic Games and for Canadian sport. And just see Christine Sinclair there, and Janine Becky, remember when she went over to Christine in a moment in the games, and Jessie Fleming with the clutch kicks, and right through that lineup, beautiful stories and a lot of resilience.
A lot of resilience, and Ron, I have goosebumps just watching that. You know, it was on that very same team that we witnessed the heroics of keeper Stephanie Lemay. Of course, we all remember that. But Stephanie later revealed that after Canada's gold medal win, her mental health was in such a fragile state that she couldn't actually participate in the team celebration. This goes back to, Ron, what you were talking about. Stephanie is the latest to candidly discuss her mental health struggles. She's part of a long line of athletes who have made it a point not to stick to sports, which is a phrase I despise, and who use their platform to make an impact on the world, just as our inductees today have throughout and after their playing careers. And you know, the time since COVID hit has been truly the era of the athlete activist. Leagues like the WNBA, the NBA, they've led the charge in demanding racial justice and police reform, and the same calls to end racism also reverberated throughout the Olympics in Tokyo. And Ron, we've also seen athletes put themselves on the front lines in the fight against the virus itself, like Hockey Hall of Famer Dr. Hayley Wickenheiser, who led the charge to get PPE to those who needed it and to battle vaccine hesitancy. She completed her clinical rotations at a hospital in Toronto to achieve her dream of becoming a doctor. And of course, Super Bowl champion Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who took a leave of absence from the NFL to work in a long-term care facility when the pandemic hit. Athletes face endless criticism for not putting the game first sometimes, but imagine if all of these athletes had only stuck to sports. The world would be a lesser place, and we would be lesser people for it. Our honorees today, Ron, have made the same type of impact.
Just beautiful, Tara. Your father, Eric, and you watched a lot of Ken Dryden and the Montreal Canadiens, so I'll close with one happy note. He made number 29, his number, indelible. But now it's one of the most popular numbers in hockey. Nathan McKinnon, Leon Draisaitl, Patrick Laine, Marc-Andre Fleury. But the premier, number 29 nowadays, also provided us with one of the great thrills of this summer.
Now Poulin with speed, trying to get the puck. Here's Marie-Philippe Poulin. She shoots. Oh, she said she scored. Canada has won gold. A golden goal from Marie-Philippe Poulin. Captain Canada has done it.
Marie-Philippe Poulin, endlessly clutch and guaranteed one day, Tara, if we're lucky, we'll be doing it when she receives the Order of Sport Award and induction into Canada Sports Hall of Fame.
There is no doubt she is a shoo-in. Ron, it is time to get down to business now. Canada's Sports Hall of Fame was founded as a recognition program and a historical archive of sport in Canada. Until 2019, induction into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame did not have a named award. Well, the Order of Sport Award was established to mark the occasion, which, together with induction, is Canada's highest sporting honor.
A sport is such an amazing thing in which it allows us to grow into complete human beings. And when I think about it, I can still feel my heart beating with anticipation.
Canada's Sports Hall of Fame was established in 1955 as home to the country's highest sporting honor.
Claire wins with another gold medal performance.
It's an institution born to celebrate how we build Canada through sport in an inclusive, diverse, and accessible manner. Honored members include both athletes and builders, all who've achieved success through contributions to their communities and to the collective sense of accomplishment in Canada.
A new world record again for Victor Davis.
The accredited museum is a 40,000 square foot international award-winning facility located at Canada Olympic Park in Calgary. Comprised of 12 galleries, the collection of 100,000 plus artifacts and displays is a place of honor for all of the inductees. It's where Canada's spirit of sport lives.
Here comes Billy, got it, 984.
Sport is an education, and through digital and interactive experiences, a more complete picture of our sporting culture emerges.
Lennox Lewis going to Thailand, boxing gold medal.
The goal of the hall is to raise the profile of its members so their stories are shared and celebrated as an integral part of Canada's culture.
It was really wonderful to know that everyone was pulling for me.
But it's more than just a building. A building doesn't convey that spirit. The people do. Every year, the Hall's public nomination and juried selection process crosses boundaries to reward those who excel, unite, and inspire Canadians both in sport and in life.
From the Northwest Territories, led by the gold medalist Shirley Firth, Sharon Firth, her twin second.
It's the foundation for the transformative impact that sport has on our cultural landscape.
It's Elaine Tanner, the winner for her fourth gold medal of the game.
Through the lens of sport, history is preserved, accomplishments are recorded, and stories are shared. All sports, all people, all the time.
And Vancouver is going to bring it all. D for victory.
We continue to write our national story by appreciating a physically competitive spirit. And while it's not perfect by any means, sport affords the country a chance to tackle difficult societal and cultural issues which other institutions often shy away from.
As they come to the line, Clara Hughes of Canada gold.
Not to mention the cohesive power of sport and the pride that communities feel when local heroes excel on the national and international stage. The fact remains that sport, as much as anything else, brings this country together.
Fantastic, Scott Russell. Thank you for that. It is nice to hold up a cup or a trophy or a medal, but it's greater to hold up people, and that's what you just showed there. And Cheryl Bernard, that's you to a T, one of our greatest curlers, represented Canada, of course, at the Vancouver Olympics, capturing a silver medal, and used that experience to do some really great reflecting and storytelling. Her Lend a Year chat at the Distress Centre in Calgary. Unbelievable, Cheryl. Once a skipper, always a skipper, the CEO, President of Canada Sports Hall of Fame, Cheryl Bernard.
Thank you, Ron and Tara, for being such an important part of this evening. Receiving the Order of Sport is a moment that signifies the immense contributions these athletes and builders have made to Canada through sport. And tonight's celebration is where the impact of receiving this honor is shared with all Canadians. This is a defining moment for sport in Canada, and the Order of Sport, Canada's highest sporting honor, is a fitting tribute. So tonight, when we present the Order of Sport to the 11 new members of Canada Sports Hall of Fame, it will be the first time that we formally recognize the whole of their championship journeys, from great in sport to doing good for Canada. And that each in their own way has chosen good as their next podium, to advocate for and build sport beyond the win and for more than just themselves. The Order of Sport is our way to say thank you to our champions for sharing their journey with us and reminds us all of the transformative power of sport. So let me be the first to welcome the class of 2021 into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. This evening would not be possible without our presenting sponsor, Everest, our broadcast partner, Sportsnet, our national champions, AMJ and WestJet, our national patrons and friends, and the many event champions who made it possible to bring the most inclusive celebration of sport and spirit our nation has ever seen to all Canadians. A special thank you to our Board of Governors and the incredible team at Canada Sports Hall of Fame. I am truly grateful for your support and passion. Thank you, enjoy the evening, and now a few words from Mark Duffy, CEO of Everest, about why Everest chose to become champions of sport and spirit.
Thank you, Cheryl, for the warm introduction. Everest is so proud to become the presenting sponsor of the Order of Sport Awards for tonight and for the next 2 years. We made this commitment because our organization believes in the role sport plays in our lives and in our society, and the opportunity to be part of bringing this important celebration to all Canadians was imperative to Everest. At Everest, we are champions of sport and spirit in Canada, and this class presents individuals who demonstrate what it means to go from excellence in sport to good in community, and they demonstrate to our entire nation that sport and its values play a substantial role in shaping this country. Congratulations to this dynamic class of 2020-2021 on receiving the Order of Sport and being inducted into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. And to those watching across Canada, thank you all for coming together to celebrate this incredible group of individuals. Please enjoy.
Thanks, Mark. And now, for the first member of the 2021 class to be inducted into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame and to be presented with the Order of Sport Award, Sheldon Kennedy.
Sheldon Kennedy was a very good ice hockey player. He captained a Memorial Cup team in Swift Current, won a gold medal for Canada at the World Junior Championships, and played in the National Hockey League for 8 seasons. It is the stuff of which Canadian sports idols are made. But it's the courage Kennedy displayed off the ice, his culture-shaking decision to reveal that he had been sexually assaulted by his junior coach, and the activist career that followed that set Kennedy apart from even the greatest hockey players in the world. He thought he was the only one, and for too long, he stood alone. After revealing a dark side of the national game, he had to come forward, Kennedy explained, to save his own life. By doing so, he opened the door for others to speak out, and for a painful, necessary reckoning. Who knows how many lives that saved? Heroism is an idea too easily thrown around, in sports, in life, but by any measure, Sheldon Kennedy is a hero.
Thank you, Chris Simpson. Sheldon Kennedy has been our guest on Rogers Hometown Hockey a couple of times. He is a great sport. Ron wanted me to mention that he is a Battle of the Blades champion. Sheldon is somebody who made vulnerability the ultimate strength. Here is Sheldon to accept this award from Calgary.
Wow, Sheldon Kennedy going into Canada Sports Hall of Fame, receiving the Order of Sport. Who would have thunk? Not me, but what an honor. I cannot explain how important this is for the issues that we've been advocating for 25 years. This is an incredible honor. And I just really want to say thank you to the Hall of Fame committee, selection committee, and to all those involved that made the decision to say, you know what, the work that Sheldon Kennedy and his group are doing in this country to address the issues that we address of abuse, bullying, harassment, and discrimination are important. And so for that, I thank you. And you know, I really want to thank my business partner, Wayne McNeil. He's been with me through thick and thin from day one. We were talking about these issues 25 years ago when it wasn't easy to talk about, and we managed to be let in the doors by sport leaders across this country. So I want to thank those sport leaders for letting us in and listening to us and saying, you know what, yeah, we do need to address this because you're the ones that are reaching the masses within your communities, and that's how we make change happen. And I want to thank my family, Jen, my wife Jen, my son Lachlan, my daughter Ryan, and you know, my mom and my brother and my sister for just the support. There was a long time in Sheldon's life in my early days where it wasn't easy to support Sheldon. You know, I went through a lot of struggles. I had to find a way out of you know, the pain and the mental health issues that I was dealing with. And these people stuck with me, and I want to say thank you to them for that. And you know what, I really want to thank all those that have kept giving me hope and kept having me stay with it over the years. And that's all the individuals that have come to me and said thank you because you helped my son or my daughter or my wife or my husband or my partner move through these difficult issues. It's for all of those that have, you know, disclosed their story and found their voice and helped, you know, helped us make that change that we needed to make. And I think you know, lastly, I just really want to thank you know, all of the inductees that are being honored here today. You know, I've looked at all the important work that you all do as athletes, as builders, and I think sport has such an incredibly important role in our country to play. No more you know, better timing than right now. If we look at, you know, the issues that I deal with, one of the best tools that we have is exercise and play, and that is sport. And so, you know, I really want to thank all of you for your contributions to our communities and to sport in this country and beyond. And it's an honor to be shoulder to shoulder with you all as we walk into Canada's Hall of Fame and receive our Order of Sport together. So thank you, and have a great night.
A special thank you to the following national champions of Canada's Sports Hall of Fame: AMJ Campbell, WestJet, and Sportsnet.
It's nicely underway with the 65th Annual Order of Sport Awards, and time for another champion of and for sport and for education in our country, the one and only Katrina Lemay Doan, who is a proud member of Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. Katrina.
In addition to awarding the Order of Sport to those who have and continue to shape our great country through sport, Canada's Sports Hall of Fame inspires the champions of tomorrow through dynamic, curriculum-aligned education programs delivered across the country at no cost to educators. As a Hall of Famer, I am proud to be involved with the Beyond the Win education programs at Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, sharing the invaluable lessons of sport. Tonight, I am thrilled that you can help to ensure these programs reach more and more youth across Canada. To tell us more about the impact of Beyond the Win, here is my friend Evie.
Hi, I am Evie. I am in grade 4. The programs at Canada's Sports Hall of Fame have taught me that if I fall and get back up and keep going, I am a winner. Even if I have a really big dream, I can achieve it as long as I keep dreaming and work really hard. I also learned that it's important to be a champion in everything you do, which means setting goals, working hard, and being a team player. I really like answering the trivia questions and seeing all the cool artifacts like skates and medals. My favorite part was meeting the Hall of Famers and hearing about how they work hard to be the best they can be and how they use sport to change the lives of others.
Thanks, Evie. Starting now, you can help inspire wins in sport and life simply by texting the Canadian flag emoji to 41010 to make a $25 donation. If you wish to make a larger donation, head to ordersport.ca. And because of the generous support of our education champion, Ted Rogers Community Grants, all donations up to $25,000 will be matched, doubling your impact. Thank you, everyone, for your support.
And thank you, Katrina. Now, here is our next Order of Sport recipient and inductee into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, Duncan Campbell.
Duncan Campbell grew up in Winnipeg as a self-described rink rat, a kid who played ice hockey and baseball and loved all team sports. After a diving accident left him a quadriplegic at age 17, he turned to basketball, the only wheelchair team sport available at the time. But he thought it lacked something: hard physical contact, which was unimaginable for those in the able-bodied world who sometimes viewed wheelchair athletes as fragile. In 1976, Campbell and a group of friends invented a new kind of game using a volleyball that had to be carried over a goal line. There was so much crashing and banging that they originally dubbed it murder ball. The friends eventually moved on, but Campbell continued developing and promoting the sport, not just as a game that would eventually enter the Paralympic Games, rechristened wheelchair rugby, but as a way to boost confidence, health, and independence among quadriplegics and others with high-level physical impairments. They call Duncan Campbell the Quad Father. And just like another great Canadian sportsman, Dr. James Naismith, he is celebrated as the inventor of a game now played around the world.
Thank you, Danielle Michaud. You think you're tough? You're not tough. He's tough. Now to Duncan Campbell to accept this award from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Hello out there. My name is Duncan Campbell, and I'm being inducted to the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame as a builder in a sport that many of you probably aren't aware of, but you should be. The award is being presented because we in Canada actually created the game of wheelchair rugby, originally called murder ball. I was one of the original creators and have stayed with the game in many, many ways for over 40 years. It is now a Paralympic sport and has been since Sydney in 2000. There are more than 40 countries playing the game, and it's a team sport for a group of disabled individuals who did not have a team sport choice prior to its creation. And we all know that individual sports and team sports have major differences. I'm very proud of this sport and the fact that it was created in Canada and that it continues to develop throughout the world. There were many more people involved in the development of wheelchair rugby than just me, and a lot of them were Canadians as well. I hope all the other people that were involved in creating and developing this sport, especially the 4 other players that were involved with me, are aware of how many people have been affected positively by this sport's development. It affects people in more ways than just providing a sport to play. I would also like to congratulate all the other inductees in the 2021 class. These individuals have contributed to their sport in so many ways, from athletes to builders to coaches, etc., etc. They have all contributed in ways that have made them stand out in their sport as the best in the business. Being inducted into the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame is especially rewarding for me, as it is not a Hall of Fame specifically designed for people with disabilities. It is an overall inclusive Hall of Fame. Canada has the philosophical approach to include everybody in their discussions of good and bad. I think this actually was a contributing factor as to Canada developing the game in the first place. In other countries, this sport may have never happened. Lastly, I want to thank everybody who has supported me in my 40 years of being involved with wheelchair rugby as an athlete, as an organizer, as an administrator, and traveling an awful lot. These are people like my mother and my father, my sister who supports me to this day, and especially my wife, who have supported me in good and bad throughout everything that I've done with wheelchair rugby. I now have 2 young children, 4 and 6 years old, and they don't really understand this award. But one day, I'll be able to take them to Calgary, to the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame, and they will see that their dad got this award and why, period. It's going to be a wonderful day.
Just some great comments, a great career, and a great creation. Duncan Campbell. And cut from the same cloth, our next Order of Sport recipient and inductee into Canada Sports Hall of Fame. With that story, Christine Simpson.
When she was 11 years old, Judy Kent went to the Ontario Athletic Leadership Camp, where she excelled at everything except swimming. There was a simple explanation for that. Kent had never swam before. She took that as a challenge, started taking lessons as soon as she got home, and turned herself into an excellent swimmer. For her, obstacles were there to be surmounted. Kent brought that same attitude to her career as an athlete, coach, author, and consultant, knocking down one barrier after another. She was the first female president of Commonwealth Games Canada and its first female chef de mission at the Victoria Games in 1994. Kent spearheaded the movement to make the Commonwealth Games the first major international multi-sport event to include athletes with a physical disability. And she worked tirelessly to create greater opportunities for Indigenous athletes. Her impact has been felt beyond Canada's borders, too. She was a pioneering voice for using sport as a tool in developing nations to address issues of poverty, conflict, and social justice. She is a leader, an innovator, and a role model.
Thank you, Chris. To Picton, Ontario, we go to accept the award. Here's Judy Kent.
I'm honored to be selected by Canada Sports Hall of Fame as a member of the class of 2021 and a recipient of the Order of Sport Award. Throughout this life, I have benefited greatly from my involvement in sport. I've had opportunities to work with many talented and committed people. I've played many different roles and gained important life skills, traveled the world, learned more about those different from us. All this has contributed to certainly a broader and healthier perspective on life and greater pride in being a Canadian. Most importantly, I came to realize that sport can be a unique tool in addressing social issues: discrimination, sexism, racism, homophobia, poverty, and so on. I spent much of my career working with others to advocate and enhance opportunities for inclusion, fairness and equity, empowering the underrepresented, and promoting socially responsible governance of sport. And just when I thought I could retire, I had an opportunity to help build a global NGO in Amman, Jordan. Generations for Peace is based on a vision to bring peace and understanding to conflicted and war-torn countries, using the power of sport to gather the parties together. We trained community leaders from around the world to plan meaningful projects using peace-building theory and sport to prepare them to transform perceptions and bring healing to their communities. There are many successes, and I have some wonderful memories. Muslim women head to toe in black burqas running around a sport field for the first time in their life. Bosnian delegates performing a traditional folk song and dance, then being joined by the Macedonians, those from Kosovo, and finally the Serbians. Very powerful moment. I am very proud to be part of the class of 2021. Collectively, we've achieved and contributed a great deal in and through sport. I want to thank Hall of Famer Sandy Kirby for nominating me and Canada Sports Hall of Fame for honoring me with the Order of Sport. Thank you.
The 65th Annual Order of Sport Awards presented by Everest is brought to you by these event champions. You can help inspire wins in sport and life simply by texting the Canadian flag emoji to 41010 to make a $25 donation. If you wish to make a larger donation, head to orderofsport.ca.
Welcome back to the 65th Annual Order of Sport Awards. Now for something that doesn't happen every day. We have the next inductee or inductees into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame.
They were a match in so many ways. Both difficult, late to find success, balky, at times nervy. Eric Lamaze and Hickstead. You can't talk about one without the other. Lamaze grew up in a troubled home, left school early to dedicate himself to riding, and for years battled addiction issues that resulted in him being banned from the Olympic Games in 1996 and 2000. He found Hickstead in Europe. The stallion was 7 years old, a late start for a show jumper. He was spooked by water jumps. They formed a perfect team, the reformed bad boy and the horse that was nothing like a sure thing. In 2008, at the Olympic Games in Beijing, Lamaze and Hickstead won the individual show jumping gold medal and were part of the team that won silver. 3 years later, during a competition in Italy, Hickstead suffered an aneurysm and died beneath Lamaze after completing a jump. The rider believes that Hickstead protected him in his final moments. He was going to die as a movie star, as a hero, Lamaze said. He was going to make a statement.
I think that Eric Lamaze and Hickstead really captured the hearts and minds of not only the equestrian community, but the sporting community, and it was magic in a bottle.
Thanks to Donovan Bennett for that story of a beautiful friendship. Now to Eric Lamaze to accept this award from where else? Spruce Meadows, Alberta.
I am honored to be receiving the Order of Sports Award, Canada's highest sporting honor, alongside my loyal teammate, Hickstead. To be receiving this award demonstrates the power of the equestrian community and the immense value of teamwork in and out of the arena. As a member of this year's incredible class of athlete and builder of sport in Canada, I am proud to be joining the Hall of Famer family at Canada Sport Hall of Fame. I would like to express gratitude to anybody that made this dream possible, and would like to congratulate our fellow classmate, of which Hickstead and I are honored to be part of.
Behind the scenes, delivering recognition campaign brought to you by AMJ Campbell.
Look what I got in the mail today. Wow, it's been a while. Can't wait to open it.
Guided by a commitment to ensure this incredible class of inductees were celebrated despite these unique times, Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, in partnership with AMJ Campbell, took the Order of Sport Award to each inductee.
2020-2021, LK. That would be me.
So this next recipient is quite a story. Peter Lougheed was Premier of Alberta watching the Yugoslavia Olympics in 1984. He says, how many do we have from Alberta? They said 2 athletes from Alberta. He said, well, that can't happen in '88 in Calgary. So he turned to this woman. He hired Diane Jones-Konihowski to come out of Saskatoon, where she was doing high-performance coaching, and the rest is history. From that to chef de mission in Sydney, from the pentathlon to the Panthéon des Sports. Tara, you've got Diane's story.
Multi-sport events are the ultimate athletic test. And long before there was Damian Warner or Michael Smith or Dave Steen, Diane Jones-Konihowski made her mark as one of the world's greatest athletes. In an era of widespread systemic doping, she excelled despite a playing field that almost certainly wasn't level. In 1976, Jones-Konihowski finished 6th in the pentathlon at the Olympic Games in Montreal. Heading into the Moscow Games 4 years later, she was a favorite to reach the podium, but that opportunity was denied her by a boycott in which sport was used as a Cold War pawn. 2 weeks later, in the first meet after the Games, she beat the 3 Soviet athletes who won gold, silver, and bronze, one of whom had previously failed a doping test. Jones-Konihowski was outspoken in opposing the 1980 boycott and was heavily criticized for it. But she stood by her belief that it was a futile, arbitrary exercise, and history has proven her right. Her life since retiring as an athlete has been one of profound service. Jones-Konihowski spent time as the director of the Canadian Olympic Committee, Fair Play Canada, and the Canadian Centre for Ethics in Sport, as well as CEO of Kids Sport Canada. A tireless effort to give back to athletes who aspire to her example of integrity, excellence, and determination.
So lovely, Tara, and congratulations, Diane. To Canada Sports Hall in Calgary we go for the acceptance speech. Diane.
When I received the call from Canada Sports Hall of Fame, I was very surprised because I was a member of the selection committee for many years. So I know how hard it is to get into the hall. But then I was told about the Order of Sport, a prestigious award that goes beyond the medals, the records, and championships won. It is so nice that the Hall recognizes that athletes are so much more than their athletic achievements, especially when they volunteer and give back to their communities. For me, I spent over 30 years volunteering my time at the national, provincial, and university level, advocating on behalf of athletes, coaches, fighting for financial support for both, and promoting drug-free sport. I had a very long career in a variety of sports that started at the age of 8 and ended when I retired at 33. Who do I thank? My parents. Hugh and Joan Jones were big-time volunteers, helping where they could ensure that I had the opportunity to train and compete. They were great role models for giving back. I was very lucky to have two great coaches, Bob Adams and Lyle Sanderson. They were the reason I was named to 3 Olympic teams and achieved #1 in the world twice. My family and friends in Saskatoon and Edmonton, where I lived and trained for many years. And my husband, John, a sometimes training partner, sometimes coach, but more importantly, he was a stay-at-home dad to our 2 daughters, Jana and Alana, while I was attending meetings on birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays in various cities across the country. I was honored to represent Canada and to wear the maple leaf for 17 years. I traveled the world and I met some amazing people. To my fellow inductees, I am honored to receive the Order of Sport with you all. Thank you to Canada's Sports Hall of Fame for this great honor.
You never want to have regret. You never want to ask yourself, could that have been me? How good could I have been? There's no guarantee that we're going to succeed, and we will probably have a lot of struggles along the way. But when you can finish a day and say, that's as good as I could be, and you put it all out there, to me, that's success. I've got goals.
With our next Order of Sport recipient and inductee into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, here is Martine Gaillard.
Sonia Gadette was 31 years old, an athletic, active mother of 2 young children with a passion for horses, when her world was irreversibly changed. A terrible riding accident left her with spinal cord injuries so severe that her family was summoned to the hospital to say goodbye. She survived and decided that her new life would be defined not by limitations, but by possibilities. Inspired by Rick Hansen, Gaudet tried a variety of wheelchair sports before curling for the first time in 2003. She immediately took to the roaring game and within 2 years was part of Canada's national team program. Gaudet played in her first Paralympics in Torino in 2006 and would become a fixture as Canada's lead for a decade, winning 3 Paralympic gold medals and 3 World Championships. In recognition of Gaudette's achievements, her images appear on a stamp, celebrating Canadian women who have excelled in winter sport. Innovating on the ice, creating a balance post technique to enhance accuracy, a direct parallel to an effervescent, balanced message to never give up on your dreams or your situation.
And now to accept this award from beautiful Vernon, British Columbia, here is Sonia Gaudet.
Wow, this is such an incredible honor to be inducted into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, and especially alongside my fellow inductees and all the Hall of Famers from previous years. This truly is humbling, and I'm very, very grateful for this recognition. You know, shortly after sustaining a spinal cord injury from a horseback riding accident 24 years ago, when our kids were only 3 and 6, my curling career just seemed to take on a life of its own. And for me, receiving this award has brought all of this full circle, perhaps giving it some sort of explanation and purpose, a silver lining that wasn't yet noticeable when life got very uncertain and confusing for me and my family. Using the power of sport as my rehabilitation, and with an incredible support system in place from family, friends, spinal cord injured peers, and my community at large, I have since gone on to live a full and meaningful life. For 13 years, I had the privilege of competing around the world alongside so many amazing teammates and dedicated, passionate coaches and support staff that put their time, energy, heart, and soul into our sport and their athletes. And I'm so forever grateful to them. Those 13 years are filled with incredible experiences and memories that I will cherish for a lifetime. But what do I hope this award draws attention to? I really hope it brings more awareness to the Paralympic Games, showcasing the Paralympic athletes on a world-class stage and equal to the Olympic Games and athletes. I hope it promotes the sport of wheelchair curling, both as a fully inclusive recreational sport and as a high-level competitive sport. And I hope that it stands to remind us all to see people for their abilities and not their disabilities, to see what's there and not what's missing. Thank you once again for this incredible honor and privilege. I will wear this badge of honor with pride, and I commit to continue promoting the power of sport as a means to gaining important life lessons that can carry us through our individual journeys and inspire us to achieve our full potential, regardless of what form life's challenges might take.
The Tom Longboat Awards were established in 1951 to recognize Indigenous athletes for their outstanding contributions to sport in Canada. It remains the longest standing and one of the most prestigious awards in the country.
The Canadian duo of Hugh Fisher and Alwyn Morris stroking towards the finish line in the lead. Nobody's going to catch the Canadians. We have another gold medal for Canada. Yeah! Hugh Fisher and Alwyn Morris.
Spectacular video. Marnie McBean, the mission chef for Tokyo 2020, had a beautiful drum gifted to her from the Squamish First Nation, and you could hear that reverb all across the country. Each year, 2 Indigenous awards presented for the Tom Longboat. We're going to begin with our male category, the winner for 2021. Congratulations, Connor Roulette.
My name is Connor Roulette. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm treated to Grand Rapids, Mississippi Cree Nation. I play in the WHL with the Seattle Thunderbirds. I grew up in Winnipeg in the North End side, and I grew up playing on this rink. I got involved in the sport of hockey just throughout my family. We've all been playing it. It's just been our family sport. We all love to watch it. We all like to go skate together. And ever since I was a young kid, I always just enjoyed putting the skates on and going to see my friends and creating memories that I cherish forever. I started, just locally here on this rink, just continuing to develop myself on and off the ice, and it's brought me to where I am today, and that's playing in the WHL, drafted into the NHL. It's a true honor, and I'm just really happy, and this is kind of where it all started. So just to come back here and kind of remember those times I had, it's just an awesome feeling. That's kind of the journey so far. My message to Indigenous youth is just have fun with what you're doing. I was a young kid once, and whenever I was able to put my skates on, I'd have so much fun with it. And just to come to the rink every day, like I said, to be with all your friends and create those memories, it's something that I'll cherish forever. And whenever I'd have those ups and downs, I would just think of all the good times I had and continue to ask myself why I love the sport so much, and it just helped me get to where I am today. It's just obviously it's a true honor to get this award, and it's a lot of hard work is put into it, and I'm really proud of where I am today. And I know there's going to be a lot of young kids coming up in the next few years that are going to be getting this award as well. Thank you to the Aboriginal Sports Circle for honoring me with the Tom Longboat Award for 2021. I'd like to acknowledge the Manitoba Sports and Recreation Council for nominating me for this prestigious award. I'd also like to thank the people who have supported me throughout the years I've played hockey, especially my grandparents Richard and Catherine Cook, my parents Tanis and Preston, for all my friends and family who cheered me on from the stands, watching me play the game I love. It's been an incredible journey so far, and I'm looking forward to putting in the work to take my game to the next level. I've been working on my fitness level and making big improvements in my diet to reach my ultimate goal of playing professional hockey within the next couple of years. I would like to dedicate this award to my brother Shane, who I've always looked up to and is one of the reasons I play the game of hockey, and I love it so much. My message to other Indigenous hockey players is to keep working hard and keep practicing and keep focusing on your goals, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't achieve them.
Congratulations to you, Connor. I know Ron and I can't wait to see you in the show soon. Well, this award provides a forum for acknowledging the growth and the strength of the Indigenous sport movement in Canada. Congratulations now to Carrie Anderson.
My name is Carrie Anderson. I am a rehab assistant here in Gimli, and I live in Camp Morton, Manitoba, and I am a professional curler. My mom and my grandparents and my uncle and a lot of my family members curled, and I just got interested in it. I just absolutely loved it, and I started really curling competitive at the age of 12 years old, and watching my Uncle Greg win the Brier in 2000 and the Worlds definitely gave me the oomph that I needed, that I wanted to do what he did. I really started hitting the women's circuit in 2008. I knew right away that I could fit in. We had the Scotties here, provincials in Gimli, and it was just so amazing. And I think we went with a record of 4-3. I knew right then and there that this is what I wanted to do. In about 2016, we won our very first women's provincial title and went to our very first national. In 2020, we went on to win the nationals, and we repeated in 2021. Our next goal is to represent Canada at the Olympics in Beijing in February 2022. Make sure to cheer on Team Anderson at the Olympic trials in Saskatoon in November. I would like to thank the Aboriginal Sports Circle for awarding me with this year's Tom Longboat Award. At a young age, I was always involved in sports. When I was 8 years old, I started curling and absolutely fell in love with it. I would spend countless hours in the curling rink practicing with my brother. My parents and grandparents did a lot of driving me around from curling rink to curling rink all over the province. One thing that I had was a lot of support from my community. I would like to thank my husband Kyle, my parents, my in-laws, and my auntie and uncles for helping me chase my dreams and taking care of my 2 daughters, Chloe and Cameron. It would have been impossible to get to this point without you. Also like to thank my teammates and my coaches. My message to Indigenous youth now would be never give up on your dreams. If someone like me from a small community can achieve my dreams, then you can too.
As Canada's only national museum of sport, the Hall is committed to amplify and share Indigenous stories. The Indigenous Sport Heroes Education Experience was launched earlier this year.
Many will not be aware of life's atrocities that our father or grandfather endured at the residential school in Brantford, yet he rose above his scarred history to being recognized with Canada's Order of Sport. Dad made the choice to go beyond the win to give back to his community and country. Although his life was interfered with by the residential school system, he didn't let that hold him back from going where he was meant to go.
You can help inspire wins in sport and life simply by texting the Canadian flag emoji to 41010 to make a $25 donation. If you wish to make a larger donation, head to orderofsport.ca.
To introduce our next Order of Sport recipient and inductee into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, here is Stephen Brunt.
When he was 8 years old, Ross Paulus was taken from his home and placed in a residential school. He was also forced to leave his family behind on the land of the Six Nations of the Grand River, their culture, their language, and their sport. Many of the Paulus family excelled at lacrosse, the Creator's game, which holds deep spiritual significance for the Haudenosaunee. Ross was 12 years old before he had the chance to play. By the time he was 14, he was a star. As a player and as a coach, he won nearly every individual and team award imaginable, and was one of the key figures in a revival of interest in lacrosse during the 1950s and 1960s, while facing racism from competitors and spectators alike. He passed on his knowledge and skills to succeeding generations, including his son Gaylord, who is widely acknowledged as one of the greatest lacrosse players of all time. Ross Paulus was a community leader, a builder, and a beacon.
And now Gail Ayres on behalf of the late Ross Paulus to accept this award from Six Nations in Ontario.
Hi, I'm Gail Ayres, daughter of Ross Paulus, 2020 inductee into Canada Sports Hall of Fame. Here with me today are my sister Jackie Paulus, my son Scott Cavan. On behalf of the family of Ross Paulus, I would like to thank Canada's Sports Hall of Fame for honoring him with the Order of Sport, considered the highest level of sport recognition in Canada. It recognizes him for his incredible sports accomplishments and also how he converted his competitive spirit into community spirit, with holding positions on band council, building inspector, and part of the original building committee for the local arena, now renamed the Gaylord Paulus Arena in 2001. Many will not be aware of life's atrocities that our father, grandfather endured at the residential school in Brantford, yet he rose above his scarred history to being recognized with Canada's Order of Sport. Dad made the choice to go beyond the win, to give back to his community and country. As an ambassador, role model, and educator, there are times I do believe the phrase, "Be the change you want to see," could have been written about Ross Paulus. This successful nomination would not have been possible without the hard work, long hours, and research put forth by members of this family, with significant contributions by Brother Richard Paulus. Of equal importance are the engaging letters of support that were provided by the lacrosse community. I feel Dad just nudged me to give a shout out to the person who spearheaded, correlated, and submitted the final nomination documents in the wee hours of January 14th, 2020, in order to meet the deadline. Nyawa to Julia McCrae, who also successfully nominated Ross's son Gaylord in 2017. Dad would most certainly bestow sincere congratulations to his fellow inductees and Hall of Famers and feel humbled with being included in the same caliber of talent. He used to jokingly say, "The older we get, the better we was." Well, Dad, today it's evident that Canada Sports Hall of Fame agree. Yeah, thank you.
And now, please welcome Olympic gold medalist and Member of Parliament for Milton, Ontario, Adam Van Couverden.
Hey there, Adam Van Couverden here, Member of Parliament for Milton. Just wanted to send a quick note of congratulations to the 65th anniversary class of the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame. You are all so inspiring, incredible stories. I was just shivering looking through the list of inspiring athletes and builders. Thank you for your incredible contributions to the story of Canada, and congratulations on this amazing achievement and milestone in your career.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
A special thank you to the following national champions of Canada's Sports Hall of Fame: AMJ Campbell, WestJet, and Sportsnet.
Okay, time for a little musical interlude with a great athlete. At the top of the telecast, we were talking about Julia Grosso, number 7 for Canada, winning gold at the Olympics in 2020. I'll give you another great number 7, Jim Cuddy. He's a hockey player and a wonderful hockey player who wears number 7, but of course he's known as a musician with Blue Rodeo and his solo career. Jim has hit the charts 64 times. This year during the pandemic, he released Good News. That was his 64th single. He's going to play for us one of them that went to number 1. Jim.
Thank you. I want to know where my confidence went. One day it all disappeared. I'm lying in a hotel room miles away. Voices next door in my ear. Daytime's a drag, night time's are worse. Hope that I can get home soon. But the half-finished bottles of inspiration lie like ghosts in my room. I wanna go, no I can't stay, but I don't wanna run feeling this way. Till I am myself, till I am myself, till I am myself again. There's a seat on the corner I keep every night. Wait till the evening begins. Well, I feel like a stranger from another world, but at least I'm living again. There are nights full of anger, words that are thrown, tempers that are shattered and thin. But the moments of magic are just too short. They're over before they begin. I know it's time, one big step, but I can't go, I'm not ready yet. Till I am myself, till I am myself, till I am myself again. Dream that my house was on fire. People laughed while it burned. Well, I tried to run, but my legs were numb. I had to wait till the feeling returned. Well, I don't need a doctor to figure it out. I know what's passing me by. When I look in the mirror, sometimes I see traces of some other guy. I know it's time, one big step, but I can't go, I'm not ready yet. Till I am myself, till I am myself, till I am myself again. Thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying your evening.
I love that curling is a team sport, that we're able to travel the world with friends and family and experience the journey with fans as well. The sport demands so much, whether it's fine motor skills or both physically and mentally taxing. And it's just a fun social sport that you're able to kind of make an extended family all over the world.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
Time for our next Order of Sport recipient and inductee into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. With Lorie Kane's story, here is Ivanka Osmak.
Lorie Kane was a prodigy, hitting her first golf shot with a cut-down iron as a 5-year-old under the tutelage of her golf pro father, Jack. For years, she dominated the amateur game in her home province of Prince Edward Island. But she had to go to court to fight for a place on Canada's national team. And she didn't turn professional until the relatively advanced age of 32. Kane finished as a tournament runner-up 9 times before her first LPGA victory. Some people told her that she was too nice to win in the cutthroat environment of the pros, that she lacked the killer instinct. In 2000, she took that to heart and embraced the words of one of her sports heroes, Marc Messier, who said that to succeed, you needed attitude. She won her first tournament, the Michelob Light Classic, and won twice more before the season finished. With her 4th victory the following year, she became the most successful Canadian female golfer since the great Sandra Post. Warm, humble, and friendly, always a favorite with the fans. Kane's career has been guided by the values instilled in her by her parents. Leave it better than how you found it, they told her. For golf in Canada, she has done that and more.
Indeed she has. Now to accept this award from Orlando, Florida, here is Lorie Kane.
Hi, and welcome to the 65th Virtual Canada Sport Hall of Fame inductions. My name is Lorie Kane, and I'm honored to be a member of the class of 2020-2021 receiving the Order of Sport tonight. I'd like to congratulate my fellow inductees and thank the Hall of Fame for putting this together so that virtually all of Canada can share in this award with us. As an athlete, I know I didn't get here on my own, and my fear of missing just one person, I would like to just send out a big virtual hug and thank you to all of you who have supported me throughout almost 25 years on the LPGA Tour. My sisters, Marilyn, Allison, and Jackie, thank you for letting me just be me and putting me in my place when I needed it. To my mom and dad, Jack and Marilyn, you raised us to leave it better than you found it, and I hope I have. And I will continue under the Order of Sport to leave it better than I found it and help continue to grow sport in this great country of ours. Thank you for this wonderful honor and have a great night.
Behind the Scenes Delivering Recognition Campaign, brought to you by AMJ Campbell. Guided by a commitment to ensure this incredible class of inductees were celebrated despite these unique times, Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, in partnership with AMJ Campbell, took the Order of Sport Award to each inductee.
Canada's highest sporting honor symbolizes the immense contributions you have made to your community in Canada through sport. The Order of Sport signifies your purpose and passion to go beyond sport success and your well-earned induction into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame.
I think this award in particular, going to Sheldon Kennedy as a builder, shows that the issues that we are standing up for and advocating for are important.
I don't know if anybody else in any other country has been awarded a inclusive Hall of Fame award for wheelchair rugby. So I think, again, Canada might be leading the way in doing so.
I'm thrilled and overwhelmed that I was even thought of to receive such a prestigious award. I never thought when I started playing hockey that I would have the honor of having this award.
And I am so happy that the builder category is there because there's so many people. I like to think I'm representing a number of people who've given so much, who contribute, who make all of this happen and allow, you know, people to excel, to be the best they can be.
Our next Order of Sport recipient and inductee into Canada Sports Hall of Fame, here to lift us with a great story, Faisal Khamisa.
When he was 4 years old, Jackie Barrett's parents faced a painful decision. Should they accept expert advice and institutionalize their autistic son, or keep him at home? They chose well. Barrett became a university graduate and arguably Canada's greatest Special Olympics athlete. Winning 13 gold medals in powerlifting at the World Games, he dubbed himself the Halifax Hercules. Then, when he moved to Corner Brook, where he became the Newfoundland Moose and was embraced as one of that province's most popular sports stars. Today, Barrett is a mentor and coach for younger athletes who continue his legacy. One of his pupils, Daniel Moores, brought home 2 gold medals and 1 silver from the Special Olympics Canada 2018 Summer Games in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. In 2015, Barrett was the first Special Olympics athlete to be nominated for the Lou Marsh Memorial Award, acknowledging him as one of Canada's finest athletes. No hyphen, no qualifier attached.
Terrific, Faisal. The deadlifts, 656 pounds, and his squats, 611 pounds. So you'll have no trouble lifting this award, Jackie. Over to you in Corner Brook, Newfoundland.
Wow. What an honor to become the first Special Olympian to be inducted in the Canada Sports Hall of Fame. To receive the Order of Sport is not just an exciting moment for me, but also 50,000 true heroes across Canada and 5 million true heroes worldwide, the Special Olympics athletes themselves, as they inspire others with intellectual or developmental disabilities on a daily basis to overcome personal, societal, and athletic challenges to reach their goals. My success in sport and life would not have been possible without the support of my friends and family members across Canada and around the world, including my 4 quarterbacks, Jeannie Barrett, my late mom, Anna Eisner, my late grandmother, Kathy Eisner, my late aunt, and Jamie Barrett, my younger brother. I also want to give thanks to the Special Olympics Canada family, including the athletes, coaches, and volunteers for supporting me on my 28-year Special Olympics journey, including 20 of these years as a powerlifter. Congratulations to my fellow Canada Sports Hall of Fame class of 2020-2021 members, as their ability to overcome personal and societal adversities to become a success in sports and in life are an inspiration for all Canadians. I hope I've proven to you that every single one of us has the ability to do something special with their lives. It's about having spirit, it's about working hard, it's about passion, and most important of all, it's about never, ever giving up. For parents and caregivers of children and adults with intellectual disabilities, if you have any doubts whether or not your son or daughter should join Special Olympics, my advice is let them join, as it'll change their lives forever. Thanks very much.
Thank you to the Hall of Famers for pouring the passion that took them from great in sport to doing good in their communities into all that we do at Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. Nearly 700 Hall of Famers have been inducted since 1955, and we greatly appreciate their instrumental support as we reimagine how Canada's Sports Hall of Fame can expand its reach and impact across this great country in these unprecedented times. The 65th Annual Order of Sport Awards presented by Everest is brought to you by these event champions. You can help inspire wins in sport and life simply by texting the Canadian flag emoji to 41010 to make a $25 donation. If you wish to make a larger donation, head to orderofsport.ca.
This one has been a long time coming. With our next Order of Sport recipient and inductee into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, here is David Amber.
He wasn't chosen for the role. It was thrust upon him almost by accident. But one night in Montreal, Willie O'Ree became the first, a groundbreaker and a harbinger. And ice hockey's color bar was finally broken. O'Ree grew up in Fredericton, played junior hockey in Kitchener, and senior hockey in Quebec City. And on January 18, 1958, the Bruins called him up for a game against the Canadiens at the Forum, and for the return match at the Boston Garden the following night. The day after, they sent him back down to the minors, and it would be 2 years before he'd get another chance. But history had been made. A black player had appeared in an NHL game. They told O'Ree he was ice hockey's Jackie Robinson, but he remained modest, and he chose to downplay the racist taunts and insults he heard from the crowds and from opposing players. How could he really explain to an otherwise universally white ice hockey world what it felt like to stand alone? Today, Willie remains steadfast in the fight for equality. In 1995, he joined the NHL and USA's Hockey's Diversity Task Force, now known as Hockey is for Everyone. He continues to serve as the NHL's Diversity Ambassador and Director of Youth Development, ensuring his love of hockey will be passed down for generations to come.
In a moment, he created a movement, a man who makes sure that hockey truly is for everyone. Here is Willie O'Ree to accept this award from San Diego.
Many years ago, while I was skating on the streets, ponds, lakes, and river in Canada, I found hockey to be my favorite sport. Dreaming of playing hockey every day after school was a joy. I set 2 goals for myself as a teenager. One was to play pro hockey. The other was to play in the National Hockey League. During my junior and pro years, my coaches told me that I could be the Jackie Robinson of the National Hockey League. I don't think I believed it then, but winning the championship my first year pro gave me the confidence I needed to believe in myself and my abilities. After a 21-year pro career and breaking the color barrier with the Boston Bruins in 1958, I achieved my 2 goals and retired from pro hockey at the age of 45. I had several jobs after retiring, but in 1996, the National Hockey League contacted me to join their diversity program. It was a dream job to work with boys and girls and help them set goals for themselves. The game I loved and helping them for themselves. Now, after 86 years, I find myself being inducted into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. What an honor. At this time, I would like to thank my friends and family for their continued support. To my wonderful wife, Daljeet, thank you for your love and encouragement over the many years. What a wonderful journey this has been. My sincere thanks and appreciation to Canada's Sports Hall of Fame Committee for nominating me for such a prestigious award. My congratulations to my fellow inductees. To everyone listening, never stop dreaming and follow your heart. Like I always say, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you won't. Thank you very much.
It's fantastic, Willie. And here's your book, which is also fantastic. Jerome McGinley, who's going into the Hockey Hall of Fame, wrote the foreword, as you know, Willie, to your book. And I love what he said here. He said, there is one blessing every black hockey player has had since 1958 that Willie did not. We have all had footsteps to follow in. Willie never did. Amazing. Our last inductee with the story, Stephen Brunt.
Steve Nash went where no Canadian athlete had gone before, and none has gone since. Basketball is played in every corner of the planet. And Nash, though at first glance he seemed to lack the physical tools to dominate, rose to the sport's pinnacle during a remarkable 19-year career in the National Basketball Association. He is one of only 12 athletes to be named its most valuable player in back-to-back seasons, and by any measure, he is one of the greatest Canadian athletes who has ever lived. But while those in his homeland cheered him on in Phoenix and Dallas and Los Angeles, their strongest memory may well be of the 2000 Olympics in Sydney. when Nash, heart on sleeve and maple leaf on chest, led Canada's national team on a remarkable emotional run to the quarterfinals. What we all saw there wasn't just Steve Nash, the consummate pro, but Steve Nash, the proud and passionate Canadian. He was one of us.
Well, Stephen Brunt, you know what Magic Sydney was. Nash was incredible for Team Canada. They rolled through the round robin 5-1. They had knocked off heavyweights like Yugoslavia and Spain. And in the quarterfinal, France double-teamed Steve, and France won 68-63. And we have a shot of him leaving the court, so crestfallen after that defeat. And then he just met with the media and solid gold.
Guys just gave it everything they had the whole time, and guys are unbelievably selfless for today's day and age of athletes, and the motive was just so pure. Guys really just wanted to win and do well, and they didn't care what happened individually.
We actually used that interview to close our coverage of the 2000 games in Sydney, Australia. It reminded me of Rory McIlroy. Did you see him breaking down after the Ryder Cup golf? Just a great spirit. From Brooklyn, here's Steve Nash. Steve.
I'm incredibly proud to be inducted into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. Many people have played a huge part in all the success that I've been fortunate enough to have throughout my career. My parents, family, friends, coaches, and the community. So many communities in Canada, whether it be in Victoria or British Columbia or with the national team program. So many good people that helped me, supported me, found ways for me to improve, for me to be supported in tough times, and to continue to grow. So it's with great pride and honor that I received this accolade, and am incredibly grateful and humbled to be in the company that is currently going into the Hall of Fame, but also that is already there, and many more wonderful athletes and people that are going to join us in the Hall of Fame throughout Canada, throughout history. I couldn't be more proud of this incredible honor, and I congratulate all those involved and thank those that had a small part or a big part in my journey. Thank you.
Tara, Steve Nash in Brooklyn. Just up the road is Flushing Meadows, New York, and you saw it when Leylah Fernandez won her semifinal, that thrilling performance at the U.S. Open. Steve was right there cheering on the next generation.
Well, and what really struck me about Leylah, even in her defeat, we saw what we see in all of our 11 inductees tonight. The grace, the opportunity to speak to the world and bring about the import of that day on September 11th. It was remarkable.
And I just think a little bit about how once you grow in love with sport, it carries forever. Sheldon Kennedy, whose story is beyond, but he won the Battle of the Blades as a 50-year-old. 2 years ago, he came back and he still got it. And I remember Lorie Kane, seeing her tonight. I challenged her $500 to play golf against me, and the $500 would go to charity. She had to play left-handed. And of course, you know how that went.
Yeah, I do.
She won. So you're all great, and it's been a great night and a pleasure, Tara, once again.
Yeah, an absolute pleasure. We're very honored to be back for this again. Hopefully it continues for years to come. But thank you. Merci. Thanks for joining us.